Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Alright, let's go ahead and do a collective reading. We're going to use the Yin Yang Oracle. Hang on. Alright. Oh, God, this shit smells so good. But highly recommend getting pheromones. I don't know which ones I get. I get Pure Instinct. Anywho, hello. Listening to Christmas jazz. Alright. Oh, that's a cute scenery. Living room. That's nice. Okay. You ready? I have about 20 minutes before my mind's going to be completely altered, so let's go ahead and get this done. We've got closed off, guarded resistance, twin flame, apology and forgiveness. God damn it, why are you making me do a love reading? Fuck. So, kind of speaks for itself. The twin flame dynamic is to each their own. Usually there's some sort of magnetism, yin yang, like opposites attract kind of thing within a twin flame dynamic. If this is your first time seeing me, I do not usually do love readings. In fact, I don't like to at all. When I do get the twin flame reading, sometimes I like to use that as a way to kind of navigate our own internal balance or lack thereof. But with the other cards coming out, it looks like this is a two-person situation. So, this is for people who are in separation at this time from, if it's a divine counterpart, if it's someone that you call your twin flame, if it's someone that mirrors you, if it's someone that you're learning a lot from, because that's the dynamic is that it's a mirror, and so it's like we're learning about yourselves through being able to see someone outside of you either struggle with the things that you have perfected or vice versa. Again, it's about balance. So it's kind of funny. Okay, so there's a lot of avoidance within this. So are you avoiding yourself or are you avoiding someone outside of you? We have closed off, guarded, resistance, starting the reading. Alright, I know my lighting sucks. And then we have twin flame. Okay. So we're just going to kind of put that as an umbrella over this entire reading, the twin flame energy. So within the twin flame dynamic, you and this person that you're in separation with, it doesn't have to be romantic. A lot of the times it's not. And a twin flame doesn't necessarily mean like, oh my god, we're meant to be, right? It can be, or it can just be like a soul contract. It can be someone that, like I already said, mirrors you, but in a way that you haven't really fully accepted yourself, or you haven't stepped into your power in the way that the other person has, and that mirrors you. So maybe you're left with like feelings of envy or jealousy, and then you're like thrown into this like dark night of the soul where you're like, why would I feel this way about someone who, you know, mirrors me? So that's shadow work. When you have less than exciting feelings, shadow work. If you need help with that, I have a shadow work oracle. So I've gone through every single one of these cards in the shadow work shorts. So hashtag, if it's a hashtag, it's a shorts project. So I go through a lot of my decks in those just to make things more accessible. So if you need some help with shadow work, go check that out. It's there for you, okay? But in addition to that, we have apology, forgiveness, thoughts isolating. So you may be ruminating about coming back together or apologizing for your behalf within a certain situation. But then we have limitations and fears. So there's something stopping this, right? This thoughts isolation. And then we have distance and retreat, unexpected storm, followed by action, courage, and beginnings. And then we have reflection and projections. We have karma, balance, and justice. So again, finding balance within a twin flame. A twin flame is kind of like a spiritual space too. It depends on how, I mean, in this context, for whoever this is for, if this is resonating, be very cautious about love readings that you read, or about readings that involve an external energy of any sort. I usually don't like to do this because I've been there watching that shit going to Lulu, staying in situations way longer than I should have because of the spiritual space. So be careful, if something isn't adding up here on this earth plane, if you're constantly being put through the ringer because of some sort of energetic tie, cut the fucking cord. If you need help with that, I don't really offer those kinds of services unless I'm working one-on-one. But it is possible to cut ties. There are some situations in which soul contracts they have to be carried out, right? So now we're getting into the Akashic Records. Let me get my Akashic Record deck. That could probably be helpful. I just saw it the other day. Let's get the Akashic Records, because again, I don't want to focus on someone outside of you in this reading, but we are seeing here it is, friends. Okay. Akashic Records. If you don't know what the Akashic Records are, they are, it's like a library of human karma that exists on an etheric realm. I like to often think of it as like a alien library, but that kind of has a weird connotation, so whatever works for you, I don't know. It is insight into your own soul obligations, I think is a good word, because a soul contract is obviously with someone outside of you. So like, I come from a very karmic family. I'm going to give this example. So I took it upon myself to be the cycle breaker, right? Instead of falling in line and being toxic. I mean, I have my moments of toxicity. We all do. We're on, oh God, they shuffle good. We're on a human plane, right? So we all have our moments. We all have our things that we struggle with. But let's get some insight into the Akashic Records. What do we have? Oh, okay. All right. The thing that we're going to focus on is this action and beginnings following a storm. So there could be some sort of cycle of karmic retribution that you or this other person are experiencing. Perhaps one of you cut it off, right? With this closed off, guarded. Or maybe that's the reason for the separation, because there was just lack of finding common ground, right? Which kept leading to these cycles of like, I'm going to say something, but you're not going to be able to accept it because you're in this like energy of pain or hurt, or again, those shadow aspects, right? So like if you feel jealous around someone, um, that's more to do with you than it is the person that you're feeling jealous about, right? So it's this maturity, it's this growth process, and a twin flame is I don't know. It's like a yin yang. It's finding balance, right? And it's like this it can be a really frustrating thing. And maybe it's just an energy. Maybe we have the heart chakra. So there's some sort of opening of the heart chakra that needs to happen. So a twin flame, okay, my one hand is one person and the other one is, so this has nothing to do with like heterosexuality or marriage or even soulmates. Yes, twin flames can technically be soulmates. But again, words, okay, English, language, words. Words aren't necessary when we're speaking about energy, because energy isn't really something that you can conceptualize, especially in this sense of it's this process, right? So like say you see someone who inspires you, and instead of getting jealous, you allow yourself to be inspired and you take notes and you're like, yes. But you take that lens or framework that that person inspires you with and you apply it to what it is that you do. So like it doesn't mean that you have to like copy what they're doing, and you know, that's where the jealousy comes in. A lot of people will. We live in this society in which people are encouraged to do that, to just copy and paste other people, but like try and get their own credit for it, right? So it's not that, right? But sometimes when there's unhealed parts of us, that's what we make it out to be. So hopefully some of this is resonating. But a twin flame is mostly like this energetic tie. So even if you do cut cords, a lot of the times you're still in it. It's just a energetic boundary, right? Clearly there's distance between you and this person. And so maybe that's what this is speaking to. That distance is often needed because people need to be able to find their own path, right? If you don't take distance, it can lead to something larger happening. And so it's kind of just this knowing. It's a knowing, right? Which is this heart chakra. Your heart chakra is right here. And so maybe there's just a knowing that someone is your mirror, right? Now, again, let's just really quick with this projection and reflection, I want to delve into this a little bit. When we are seeing a reflection of someone that or like we're seeing our reflection back to us. So like, I know in twin flame unions, or not unions, but twin flame situations, soul contracts, a lot of the times there's that saying about like the teacher, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And this is more of a space of both are the student and both are the teacher, but again, they mirror each other in different ways. So like one of you may be really like solid on the physical plane. More than likely the person who represents the masculine energy, again, it doesn't have to be anatomy, but the masculine energy is what is more stable on the earth plane. And then the feminine energy has like this esoteric knowledge, right? So there can be a butting of heads, but it's actually very complementary. Again, doesn't have to be soulmates, doesn't have to be the person you're going to marry, it doesn't have to be anything, you don't even have to talk to each other. Energetically, it's there. I have a twin flame. I work with his 5D, like higher self, and we are not in contact right now. So this resonates with me. I don't think he's accepted that we are connected that way, and that's fine. I'm still continuing on, and I can still utilize energetic, because there's an energetic tie. I've tried to cut the cord. I've tried several times to cut this fucking cord. It will not cut. It's that scrunchy. We're still in this space because we both have things to learn. He really helps me with my physical. I don't know if he's accepted my help in the spiritual. I would like to hope so. I know that the higher self of his is very open to that, but in this reality, I don't know if he's doing that or not. But in regards to how he helps me a lot when it comes to the physical plane. I like to have my head in the clouds. I'm a very spiritual person. And since I've known this person, since we've made contact and I recognized what this was, and yes, I told him, I have been able to solidify a lot more in my physical realm, including my own health, my own discipline, which is something I've struggled with forever. So it's something like that, right? So whatever it is for you. Again, the heart chakra. Okay, let's go ahead and see. We do have growth here. So we have action, beginnings, courage, growth, karma, balance, and justice. So it's not all bad. I think in these situations, if there is some sort of separation or lack of communication or whatever, again, we're in a cycle of karmic retribution. So what you give, you're always going to receive. And when other people, like when there's a twin flame energy present for that, it can be really off-putting is what I'm hearing, especially for people who are more logical. This is a very hard thing to grasp. It makes no sense, right? Like, how could someone just come into my life and like know me better than I know myself and then dip out, but like we're still connected, right? Like, it's a very weird concept. But again, within soul contracts, so soul contracts, I keep saying that. I don't know what you believe. I don't even know if I really, I don't know. I believe in a higher power of some sort. I don't really feel like it's like a sky daddy situation for me personally, but I know a lot of people really resonate with that. So when soul contracts are brought up, people often think of like signing a scroll with like a feather, like a gold feather pen up in like the clouds, right? Like it's kind of that energy. But I think a soul contract is like, for me, I know, I'm just going to share about my soul because I don't know about anyone else's, but I know I received my soul path or my mission, whatever word you want to use, back in 2017 after like the roughest 6 months of my life. And I received a download, and I was finally allowing myself to open back up to my psychic abilities after like trauma galore. And my mission, it was to like help humanity, like uplift humanity. Your job is to uplift humanity. That's like what it sounded like, right? And so then it was up to me, I share this a lot, to decide what that meant for me. What are my skills? What are my strengths? What are the things that I want to do? I've always been a person who believes in peace. I've always been like this little hippie girl. I've always been bubbly and happy, and I'm an artist, and I'm all of these things, and I'm very eclectic. And so I was like, how can I take all of these parts of me and serve humanity in the way that I'm meant to? And so for me, that was the shift where I started leading with my heart over my head, right? And then I also say a lot, where did the other one go? Didn't I pull a second card? Why am I doing all this yapping? See, I told you that edible was going to kick in. 19 minutes. I said about 20 minutes. Anyway, so it was up to me to figure that out. And then I had a child, and then I'm like, okay, so now I have to like fold this into the equation and figure out stuff. And I am walking in my purpose at this point in time, but I'm nowhere near, I'm not reaching the level. I need to be reaching more people. And I'm not quite sure why I'm being held back from that. I don't know if it's a twin flame thing or not, but maybe you're feeling like that too, because I put stuff out every day on multiple platforms, and it's like crickets, and I'm like, am I being protected? For me, it feels like a divine protection situation until I have like physical protection on the earth plane, which I feel like is going to be a counterpart of some sort, a divine union of some sort, but I don't know who that person is. I only know the energy that I want and the energy that I need outside of me, because you can only do so much, and that's another part of the twin flame. So hopefully this makes sense. I don't know why I started saying all that. So the Akashic records, the soul contracts. So for me, the soul contract was, I know I volunteered. I know my soul is very old. I've done a lot of healing work, energetic work, emotion code, things like that, past life regression work. And so my soul is like thousands of years old. I'm an old soul, but I'm a very young spirit. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I feel like your spirit is more of a wispy energy that comes with your vessel, like your human, or I mean, you don't have to be human. Like, I believe in reincarnation too. It's okay if you don't believe in these things. I'm just trying to support whatever can help you grasp this message. But I believe in reincarnation, obviously. I'm an old soul. I also believe that this isn't the only planet or life form that we hail from. There's a lot of people who have like absolute knowledge about star systems and other planets and other like alien. I don't really find, I'm very hesitant to accept that as full truth, because usually it's some sort of human agenda attached. I'm finally allowing myself to like accept that there is mystery. And like, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know if I'm like ethically aligned with what I'm doing. So hopefully that helps you. If there is someone in your life that you feel connected to twin flame, like, take action to at least clear the energetic field. Communication isn't always necessary, again, because the energetic bond is going to be there regardless. But usually there is telepathy or some sort of communication happening anyway. So if there is something that's hindering your relationship, not everyone is a twin flame. I don't know if we are supposed to have more than one twin flame. I think for different seasons of our lives, we have different teachers. And we are the teacher for others as well. Like I already said, I think that, I don't know. I don't know all the answers, but if this resonates with you, there's some sort of separation. So that usually means that if you believe in divine intervention, then the separation is usually some sort of protection, for both. And if it's kind of like a surrender to what will be, what should be, what will be. And until it's time to come together, or until it's time to maybe part energetically, maybe you're still lingering because there's still lessons to be learned on either side. Like I said, my twin flame helps me a lot with the physical plane. It just helps me be in my body, which is something I've always struggled with. And I'm so grateful, because it's something that I've really needed to master. And so for a masculine collective, if you're a masculine watching this and you really resonate with being a masculine and you're like, yeah, I'm like on the physical, then your feminine energy that is complementary to you, or completely contradiction, right? Both. Because again, it's a mirror. Then the feminine is probably helping you with your spirituality, or your emotions, or your ability to nurture and love yourself first and others, right? So those are the kind of things. So we do have the solar plexus coming out. So we have two chakras, the throat, wait, no, that's heart and your solar, which are right next to each other, green and yellow Packers. I grew up in Green Bay. Is there anything else? Well, okay, give me what about these two. So your solar plexus is like your confidence. So Again, you guys are teaching each other more than likely how to be confident in these areas that you haven't been up until this point, right? Or if you haven't met each other's, we have present lives coming out. Again, it doesn't matter if you're in physical or not, because the energy will always live on, right? Like soul contracts, like, so I do believe in past lives. I believe that this person that my twin flame, there was an immediate soul recognition for both of us. It was incredibly obvious, and it was so public. And I'm like, oh my god. So it was for both of us, though. It was a complete soul recognition. But we haven't been able to have conversations about that in the physical. Release and let go. So release and let go of your expectations of the other, right? Again, because this can be just an energetic thing, right? Like what I was just saying as that came out. Release the need to have conversations with each other. Release the need for any sort of external validation from them at all. Because there is fear, there is thoughts, there is distance and retreat, and that can be for, either or both. But sometimes if we come back together in that energy, it's going to cause issues, right? So this courage and action is taking initiative for your own life, for your own path, to grow, right? This avoidance and stalemate energy has got to be released for you or them. Again, this is someone who is representative of a mirror. Someone who is in your life to support you in your own growth. Whether it's a soul contract or not, whether it's a love situation or not. There's one card that's going the opposite way. I fucking hate when that happens. So again, don't put, rebirth in winter. So if you're in the northern hemisphere right now, so that's what this is about. This is about your own rebirth. But again, if you're energetically aligned with someone and you're constantly mirroring each other, when one of you goes to a rebirth, the other one's going to be forced into it as well. Regardless of if they want to or not. You can deny it as much as you want, but the universe will divinely intervene, especially if you and your partner or you and your twin flame are people who are, like I said, I got my mission. A lot of people are walking around without knowing what their purpose is, right? Like, I'm going to be in this career field. That is not a purpose. A purpose is, how can I support humanity and the planet, right? The purpose is much larger than this society in which we live right now. And again, if this is resonating with you, you're probably an old soul. You've been here more than once. This is the last time I'm doing Earth. So I'm trying to cut ties with everybody who will not step up, because I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to come back and do this again. This place is ghetto. I would rather be on a water planet, like complete water. We have hot and attraction and family, home, and commitment. Could be romantic, obviously. But again, we all have free will, so people get to choose if that's the path they want to take or not, regardless of soul contracts. You can also choose to omit soul contracts. You can say, I'm not doing that. And you can just accept that, you cross paths with this person who you had this insane soul connection with, and you learned what you needed to learn to get you to your next point, right? It doesn't mean that they're coming with you if they're choosing not to, It's, again, let go, release and let go. Allow yourself to transform like a butterfly into what it is you need to be. I release. You see that? I made that while I was pregnant for my labor. I had it on the mountain range. Like, I made a mountain range. So there could be some hard things that you're facing right now. And if so, if you are telepathically aligned with someone, you can still communicate and reach out or ask for help or whatever. If you're spiritually evolved enough, you will feel that, right? Ooh, sacral chakra with Antelope Canyon. I was just sharing a bunch of pictures of Antelope Canyon. So we have the sacral chakra, the solar, and the heart. All three of these, orange, yellow, and green. which is really interesting. So this is about the physical plane. This is about, so your sacral chakra is your like creative force. So what are you being like, what's making you want to create? What is something that you've had an idea about? What skills do you have? Again, how can you support the world in a unique way that only you can do, right? Do it, okay? I'm really stepping into that space on this physical plane again because I've had the support of this person who has helped me, encouraged me to be in my physical. So now this next year coming up, I'm really focusing on the physical. I feel like I don't think you get to a point of like mastering things, but you get to a point where you're like, okay, I've done enough of this. I feel comfortable in it. I've gotten enough consistency within this, right? That discipline. Whatever it is for you, whether it's, reading, writing, working out, eating better, releasing old habits, releasing people, whatever it is. I mean, all of it matters. All of it is important for your spiritual and physical growth and hygiene, right? Emotional and mental as well. I did just upload 2 videos for the mental health and wellness. It's like 10 minutes altogether. So go check those out if you want. We talked about physical health barely. I just literally read the page. And then we talked about emotional health too. So go check that out if that feels like it resonates. Anything else from the Akashic Records? So your sacral is your creative force. What can you create? What do you need to create? What are you being encouraged to do? It's a very masculine energy. Or are you being are you creating a human? That's the womb space, right? But either way, there's some sort of physical manifestation that wants to come through you, whether it's through your womb or through your hands in whatever way you create. And it's something that you're passionate about that will bring you so much confidence, right? That will help you stay present and release what has no longer served you, okay? Anything else from the Akashic Records? I don't know. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Anything else from this one? Well, we have male relationships at the bottom of the Akashic Records. So there could be some sort of mirroring about, maybe father wounds or something like that within, if this is resonating, if you're 33 minutes, the heck? Damn. We have air signs coming out, or air energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have assistance from spirit guides coming out too. It's under male relationships. Magic and alchemy. But it's in reverse, so the reason for this separation could be, interesting. Could be that the masculine within the connection wasn't able to grasp the spiritual realms, right? It was too wispy with this air energy. And instead they went to, continue partying, seeking external validation, instead of choosing to step into their purpose, right? That's totally fine. People are allowed to do that. I will say that your soul will have, if you signed or committed to a soul contract and then come down to this planet and do not fulfill that, you're going to have to come back. Earth is the place we do that. Not everyone believes that. I believe that. My soul is very old. I've been around a long time. My emotion code, we went back, over 900 years? We've gone back, tons of generations, too. I think, over, I want to say, between 20 and 30 generations within my healing that I've done with my, with some of my energy work. But I don't know. It depends on what you believe. Not everybody is able to grasp this, especially with the way that society is right now, and that's why we came here to help. That's why, because it's bad. Alright, let's get a couple of these. So don't ever seek outside of yourself, which is something that everybody does in this society. Don't ever seek your whole all by yourself. You are a totality alone. Just because you have a twin flame doesn't mean that you are only half of that equation. Again, it's a learning thing. You both teach each other and you both learn from each other. Wait, that's the same thing. No. Okay. Deep dive. You have only just started to learn your soul's depth. What truly matters will rise to the surface, if you allow it. Right? I mean, well, even if you don't allow it. If you've signed a soul contract, there will be some sort of divine intervention, and it will more than likely not be fun because it will force you into... I had to go through this. I've had to experience terrible things. And I've shared a lot of that, but like I've been through fucking hell. And it got so bad to the point where, again, in 2017, when I received that download about uplifting humanity, I mean, that was my rock bottom. I was like, I've nowhere else to go except up from here, right? I was trafficked for 6 months. They tried to put me back on medication. I was raped. I was violated. I was force medicated. I was trafficked. I was ignored. I was gaslit. I was completely unsupported. And I came out of it, got that download, told everybody to fuck off, and started a mental health group that was incredibly successful until I became pregnant. I decided that I was going to shift my focus to being a mother. But yeah, that is... And within pregnancy, I did a fuck ton of energy work, especially having a biracial baby. There was a lot of shit that I had to go through to figure some shit out. But that wasn't the only time I went through shit. You know, I've been locked up by my family. I've been, you know, I've been in jail. I've been in mental institutions. I've been shackled and was placed on suicide watch at one point in jail. They stripped me butt ass naked. A few of the times that put me in a straitjacket, that sucked. But don't ever tell them that you're suicidal inside. I wouldn't. Anyway, moving on. Sharing. What do you guard so much? Secrets are only worth the silence they keep. Is it time to speak? And we did have that coming out in that first part of the reading. Apology, forgiveness. Even if you don't want to speak that to someone else, at least allow yourself to stop carrying around guilt and pain about things, and recognize it for what it is. You're on a spiritual journey. You know, we're all humans. We're souls having a human experience, right? Regardless of what you believe in, regardless of what language you use to describe it, regardless of the mental picture, we all have this like spark of life within us that is mysterious, that is creation itself. And humans have this awful audacity to like label everything and name everything and then use it as control. I truly believe whatever it is that's inside all of us wants harmony and liberation, not what we're experiencing now. So just do your part to do that. And if there's someone else around you that you identify as a twin flame, you know, explore that with curiosity, not necessarily, and like open-mindedness, because everybody has free will. People can choose to do that or not. Again, you can't make anybody, you know, fall in love with you. You can't make anybody want to be with you. You can't do shit like that, because that's interfering with other people's lives. You can't do that. Lots of people do, but I wouldn't recommend it. You know, identify it for what it is, you know, and try to learn from it. That's the most important thing. Learning from it, allowing the mystery of it, continuing to hold that space. If you're the feminine, continuing to hold that energetic space and support, right? Like, I'm so happy for my twin flame. They've really achieved some big things lately, and I'm very happy for them. I have nothing but happiness for them and gratitude. You know, I don't feel sad. I don't feel mad about anything. I don't think it's healthy for us to be in communication like that right now. Um, or ever again, maybe. It's fine. I learned so much. I've never, and I've expressed that to them. I've told them how they've impacted my life, and I think that's important. I like to do that with everybody, but this in particular, it was very important to me to say certain things because it's just where I'm at in my life. I like to speak even if I feel weird or sound weird. Embrace. Make peace with the unknown. Again, allowing mystery. Trust that things are working out for the best. Stillness. Not taking action can be the most powerful stance. Let yourself rest a while and enjoy the sacred silence of your soul. Especially within that rebirth and that winter energy. Yes, we're still watching. Advance. Follow your dreams one step at a time. Little steps add up to big things. Just keep going. And I think that's the thing too. A lot of us don't think of life as a journey. We think of it as like mile markers we have to hit, but we don't think about like life itself as like I truly believe everything happens for a reason. I believe everybody I encounter, there was a reason for us to cross paths, whether I was someone who was helping someone or they were helping me. Again, being open to, and this is going to take a lot of ego death and ego work, being open to allowing people to show up how they want to show up, and allowing a lesson to go from that. Every time I stay home and by myself a lot of the time, but when I do interact with people, there's usually a moment afterward that I'm reflecting and I'm like, oh wow. Like I have a good example of this really quick and then I'll finish. One day when we were still living on the land, we came into town and before I left the land, because it was just such a stressful experience every time, I was like, everyone that crosses my path was meant to, okay? And I put that out in the universe before we left our land because I was just so anxious about it. I'm like, okay, everything's gonna be fine. Everybody that I cross paths with is going to like be there for a reason. So I was shown this. I had a crisis. Crisis is a space for opportunity, regardless of if we like it or not. And Woodstock ran, because we had to go to the dog park, and Woodstock ran out of the dog park. So I had to leave Nile in the fucking dog park. And I was running down the fucking street trying to get this dog. And this guy stopped and caught Woodstock. He like just got out of his truck, and that was literally so crazy because it was like within half an hour of me saying everyone I'm gonna cross paths with today was meant to, and then Woodstock escaping, and it was like the dog park is right next to the train tracks, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna die, he's gonna get hit by a fucking train, right? You know, moms, we have the worst case scenario immediately. And yeah, so it was just like such a divine moment. So I share that because if you start to approach life like that, I'm getting that fucking line from Eat, Pray, Love again. If you set out on a journey of self-discovery and you take every person or situation as a learning moment, as a teacher, which is exactly what the twin flame journey is, okay, regardless of if there's romance involved or not, then that's like when you're really stepping into your rebirth, your growth, your ability to allow mystery and allow others to also do them, right? It's a huge ego death to be able to do this. It's huge growth, okay? We had growth summer and rebirth winter. So again, summer and winter, opposite sides of, you know, okay? Always finding balance within that dark and light, within the masculine and feminine. The masculine energy is the doing energy, the more physical plane. And the feminine is the being, the more esoteric space. Okay, we already covered that too. Emerging. Summon courage to break through. You can always start over again. And last, assistance. Ask for help when you need it. Speak to whoever it is you believe in, or humans, right? Receiving is also a way of giving. Have a good one.